Hello everyone, this video I'm going to be describing or just telling you my opinions on what I consider a high tune. Now, I have like 6 or 7 categories for tunes that I generalize them on, which is, I guess some people can think that's wrong, but it doesn't really matter for me anyways. So, I'm going to start off with the basics. A new tune. A new tune is somebody that is like in Toontown Central, it's Donald's Dock with level 3 or 4 gags. I have 2 of the. Actually, I have 3 of these. Actually, I think I have 4 of these, but I rarely play on 2 of them. So, yeah, these tunes are new. They're new to the game, or they're new to this tune that they're on. So, these tunes are normally like 15 to 24 laugh points, Usually you're not in that range for too long unless you actually, or unless you don't play. So, now I'm going to jump to a low tune. Now, in my how to train drop video, I was 64 laugh, and I had level 5 gags. Now, the reason why I called myself a low tune is mainly because I was not a high tune. Now, someone left a comment, which is why I'm making this video. They said that how come this video is called How to Train Drop as a Low Tune when, you're not even a low tune? I consider myself to be a low tune, which right now I'm going to explain what I view a low tune as. This is the kind of person that I wouldn't really... They're more of a... They're more detrimental to a VP run than they are helpful in some cases. So a low tune for me, in my opinion, is a tune who is in Daisy Garden to the Burr with like an average of level 5 gags and under. So if they have 3 level 7 and some level 3 and they're in this range, and their average comes out to less than like 5, I'm honestly going to consider you a low tune. Now, I don't hate any genre of, or like, I don't hate all of one kind. There are definitely some exceptions. There are a lot of exceptions with this one, because most of these people have another tune. So I have a tune in this range. Well, no, I'll get to that very soon. So next up are Ubers, and these people are 15 to 20 laugh, or I believe the next one is like 34. I don't really remember because I don't have an Uber. I don't do anything with that. So if they are a 2 to 3 track Uber, I consider them a low tune still because they're still in Toontown Central to Daisy Gardens. I won't consider them a low tune because they have maxed gags. They have to have maxed gags or else they're not an Uber yet. So I still will consider them a low tune. And the reason why is because in terms of laugh points, they're not really... It's supposed to be a challenge, but it's not really a challenge because they have maxed gags. But, if there's 2 paradigm shifts, or 2 power trips, or 2 schmoozes, or whatever that attack is from Gladhanders level 8, or when it comes to mover and shakers, they can do 21 damage to all. I don't... They can just die, so they're not really high yet, in my personal opinion. So a mid-level tune is like my 3rd tune. That tune is like 67 laugh. They're not... I have a level 1 gag because I haven't even started training drop on that tune. And my lowest gag is, well, I'm less than 100 points off from the trunk. I'm like 800 points off from the trapdoor. And I have max throw and borderline maxed lure and squirt. So I'm on the... I'd say I'm like the borderline between mid-level and low-level tune on that, because that tune is... It's not strong yet. Or Castile, that's not a strong tune yet. So I consider a mid-level tune a tune that's normally 65 laugh to 105 with 0 to all gags maxed. Now, if you're like 64 laugh, that's usually when people graduate to Donald's Dreamland. This is like this is like the people that are working in Donald's Dreamland that normally have a max gag or two. But if you have all your gags maxed, then good job for you. Now, next up, this is like my other tune. I haven't invested time at all, basically, in this tune. I think I'm like a Hollywood and a bean counter, then level 1 or 2 or 3 flunky and bottom feeder. So this is like the 100 laugh tunes. I consider you in this genre if you do not have your Lar boss suit as well. These types of tunes are normally the ones that are starting sell or cash. People regularly classify 100 laugh tunes as a high tune. I honestly don't. This tune is not a high tune, in my personal opinion. Just not even maxing a boss or anything. That is not a high tune to me. To me, a high tune, well, no, I'm going to get into that very soon. So, even if they have all max gags, and they're like 105 laugh, this tune is not maxed a boss, this tune is not, I haven't invested any time into it, in terms of progression, like that. Yeah, I don't, some people consider that a high tune, I honestly don't, that's not a high tune to me. So next up, this is the 110 to 119 laugh tunes. I see these a lot. People can consider these high tunes. I kind of still don't, but you're not a low tune at this point. You probably know the basics. I mean, you should know the basics. You should have all max gags by now. And these tunes normally, have maxed 1 or 2 bosses. And you're probably working on your 3rd one at this time, but I still don't consider them a high tune because they normally still have half, or if they did sell or cash first, they have more than half. They're not halfway there yet. They're about a third of the way because these are like 3 times as long and they're kind of less rewarding than these. But your first 10 laugh from the bosses, I'd say you're very close to becoming a high tune in my opinion. And now I'm going to get into the actual high tunes. To me, 120 laugh to 132 is a high tune. These tunes are in the high range because they've maxed, by this time you should have maxed 1 to all of your bosses. It's possible to have all your bosses maxed at 120 laugh, but that's very rare, considering people normally fish or do some gardening or something like that, I consider this a high tune as you probably know what you're doing or the basics to every boss. You're probably at least working on your 3rd one by now, but you should have just about all sound, lure, and maybe some advanced strategies. Not all, because some people don't learn advanced CEO strategies until they're maxed, or they never learn it in general. But yeah, this is what I consider a high tune. I do consider myself a high tune, but I'm nowhere near the next one. Now, I feel that I'm in this range. Next range is the highest range. This is the 133 to 136 range. I have a few friends that have dedicated tons of time into doing this. I'm just going to pull up a quick example. One that a lot of people know, and I was friends with him since 112 Laugh, which for me was like a year ago. But he has maxed everything in the game. Now, this is either an elite or a max tune. At this point, you've probably been seriously into this game. Invested countless hours and or you are very dedicated, and that is awesome if you reach this point. I don't think I'll ever reach that point because I hate law, and even if I complete law, I'd have to do some more. I'd have to be lucky with fishing, which I'm not lucky. I'm not a lucky person. And or I'd have to do some more golf, and I'm never doing racing. You can hear that from me now. I'm never gonna do racing ever. I'm just never gonna do it. Honestly, it's not worth my time. I might get one laugh point from it, but that'll be from the first 10. I'm never gonna get the 20 or the 30 trophies. It's just not. It's not my thing. Honestly, it sucks. It's buggy. I've done a couple races and I haven't even gotten any tickets back from them. It's just a mess for me, in my opinion. But if you're slightly lower in this range, like 133, most of the extra laugh is from fishing or kart racing or golfing or, even gardening. Honestly, at this point, I still consider you a max Toon because you've most likely maxed all the bosses, and there's no extra battle experience to be earned. If you spend all your time as a 133 to like 135 Toon, and you never bother with these extracurricular stuff, but you're playing you're playing just as much as a max Toon, I consider you honestly higher than a max Toon in my personal opinion, because you're doing more of the battling instead of the extracurricular stuff. So this is why max Toons for me either have the same level of experience as some 120 laugh Toons or high Toons than some other max Toons. So there are obviously exceptions to this, but sometimes a 120 laugh, well, normally not that, but usually a 125 laugh could have even more experience than a max player because they've only done 78 runs at least. So if you've become a max Toon at this point, I congratulate you. I have instant respect for you. The less laugh points don't really matter, but if for some people they do. Now, when it comes to experience-wise, this 50 is a limit. If you've done 78 VP runs on one Toon, gone all your promotions, I still don't consider you very experienced in the boss. I am not experienced with the CJ on Toontown Rewritten because I'm not maxed, therefore I still have stuff to learn. If I've done, well, no, I'm going to use Self for an example because this is the one where most Toons participate. If you are a 100 laugh Toon that did 3,000 VPs, you can have 30 times the experience, almost 40 times the experience that a max Toon could have done with just 78 of these. Once you hit the max level, it's impossible to measure how many runs you've done. I've done like 700 VP runs, 200 of these, 40 or 50, I don't even know anymore. I've done, I think 48, not 48, no. I've done like 40 or something like that. And I've done like 300 of these. Now, that level of experience is very different, and it's impossible to track once you've maxed. Therefore, you really have prejudice against a maxed Toon in bosses. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave your comments or opinions in the comment section below, because I'd love to hear feedback. I want to hear other people's opinions. So, yeah, there's definitely layers of Toons. I'd say I'm on the edge of a high Toon, getting ready to do, once I max Law and I do some extracurricular stuff, I consider myself an elite Toon. However, I do not yet. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.